Hi, today I'm gonna go out and look at a car. The text message that I got said, could I check the timing? They think the timing's out. It's on a diesel Golf, a 2004. Don't know any more than that at the moment. And I don't know if they've code read it and had a cam crank correlation or a cam crank range performance. There'll be a reason that they want the timing checked. And then I get another message saying, oh, I won't start at all now. So am I free to take a look? So I'm going to go and head out. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'm going to start with a code read though when I get there. When I'm at this stage and I'm at my house, I never know what tools to take. And I can't take all my tools in my car. So I'm going to start with the basics. Some tools in a little toolkit and the code reader. I'll just see what happens. I may have to go back with more tools later on, but I'll just start with the basics. Intake flap malfunction, so I'm going to look at that. It could be the problem. This car cranks, but it won't start. Coolant temperature, signal too high. It's had some sort of a map thing put on it that's been plugged on to the coolant temperature sensor. I'll show you that. Radiator fan restricted. So the fact that this isn't starting and there's no fault codes for the cam or the crank makes me think it might be worth looking at the coolant, the motor for the intake flap. And that's at fuel temp as well. So we've got the coolant temp and the fuel temp and the EGR cooler. Okay, I'll go and show you what's happened to the engine. It's a bit dead. I'll go and get a jump pack. Right, that's the jump pack on. I'm gonna go and start the car. I'll crank it. Here's the thing that I was saying about right there. It goes into the coolant temperature sensor, so it's something to do with that. Let's bring it on a fault code as well, and there'll be one for the temperature of the fuel somewhere in a fuel line. That could be the fuel line one actually. That is the fuel line one, not the coolant. So there'll be one similar on the coolant, I would imagine. And right, but I think this is probably stuck in here because that's the fault code that we've got. So I'm gonna go and crank it again and listen to the sound of it with this jump pack on. Sounds like when the belt breaks, something like that. That's it. It is a broken belt. So that's the same sound. This is the belt isn't rotating when you're cranking it, so the belt's broke. But that's the same sound you get when this flap sticks closed. And because it's in a fault code for that, it's hoping that that was just going to be closed and it wasn't getting any air to compress in the cylinders, because it sounds just the same. But no, in this case, it's a broken belt, but I think the car's just going to get stripped down and sold for spares. That was a quick test. I was hoping it was going to be the valve, but in this case it wasn't. Yeah, it's broken timing belt, so he is going to just scrap the car. He's only just bought it. He's going to just strip it down and sell it in bits, so he's happy. I do have another job that he wants me to do on one of his other cars, so it's not a total waste of time. I'll get that next weekend. That's just a wheel bearing. So there is the thing with people diagnosing their own cars with a code reader, and what I found is when somebody diagnoses their own cars with a code reader, it kind of helps me a bit, because if they say it's a certain thing, even if they've already tried putting parts on it, at least I've got an idea what sort of tools I might be looking at, what my first thing to do will be that I want to check. I can start planning before I go and stick the relevant tools in the car. It helps me a little bit, but it doesn't help when somebody clears the fault code, so that is the thing that goes against it. So, well, easy job today. broken timing belt. Thanks for watching.